I built a Claude code skill that generates pixel perfect meta ads for any product in less than a minute. And the results are actually insane. I mean, this works for any product. It's extremely creative and the results look like it took an agency a week to make. So in today's video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how this entire system works so that you can copy it for yourself. But if you want to just copy and paste the skill that I made directly, you can head over to AI Innovators and download it from there. I'll leave a link in the description. But let's cover how this system works because honestly, it's pretty involved. There's a lot going on here. So the first step in the process is telling Claude what we want to create an ad about. And for this example, I'm going to be using Athletic Brewing Free Wave, which is a non-alcoholic beer company that I actually used to work for. And once it knows what the product is, it has enough information for it to go off and start creating what we call a product identity brief. In order to create the product identity brief, we need to get information from a variety of sources to make sure that our report is comprehensive. So throughout this process, we're pulling customer complaints, things that they actually care about, the top videos in that niche. Then we just extract the customer voice. We identify the 4 psychological pillars. And then the brief is created with the ICP, pain points, tone assessment, and the psych pillar map. Now this is saved in the workspace, so the next step in the skill can use the same information. So the next step is the data pipeline. We need to go see what our competitors are doing, what's working in the market before we actually come up with our ideas. And for that, we're going to use the Scrape Creators API. Now, if you've never used scrapecreators.com, it's an incredible social media API that allows you to scrape pretty much any social media and get the data in a usable format for AI. My friend actually created this software and I don't get paid to promote it at all. I just love it and use it in almost every project. Scrape Creators has a Facebook ads library scraper, so we're going to give our Claude access to that so that it can view competitor ads. And while we're looking at these ads, we're identifying specific gaps that we can take advantage of. All of that gets pulled together into a competitor analysis.md, which contains the gaps we can exploit, angles that are too saturated, winning angles that we should potentially test, and the competitor matrix snapshot. All of this information feeds the creative briefs that happen in the next step. I actually went kind of crazy on the creative strategy section of this ad generator. I wanted to make sure it was really good, really creative. So I spent a lot of time making sure this was going to give me the results I wanted. Now you can see that we really focused on creating a variety of different creative assets. So when we ask Claude to create ads for us, they don't all look the same. Ultimately, Claude's instructions are that each variation should feel like it was a completely different team that worked on it. So Claude is going to create 4 completely unique creative briefs at different stages of the funnel for different stages of awareness that use different reference images. And in order to get those reference images, we're going to need to use Tavily. Now, I found that Claude's built-in web search doesn't grab images properly, so I like to use Tavily for tasks like this. In this scenario, we're taking all of the creative briefs that Claude created in the step before, and we're identifying which queries we need to make to Tavily in order to get the reference images to include in these generations. Once we've captured all of those images, we organize them in our workspace folder, and then we pass them into the generation step. The generation step uses Nano Banana 2 to actually generate these ads, but it includes a lot of information from the steps before. So you can see we're passing in the product image, the creative brief, style references, and the ad type all into Gemini to create these ads. We're also generating these ads in parallel just to save on time. And ultimately, at the end of this process, you run up with 4 extremely creative, beautiful ads that are ready to run on Meta. So I know I just yapped at you for a while. Let's jump over to VS Code and I'll show you how to get started. So you're going to head to AI Innovators, download the e-commerce ads skill, extract it, and then we're going to create a .claude folder, a skills folder, and then we're just going to drag our ad generator skill into that folder. The last thing we need to do is create a .env file, which is going to store our API keys for Gemini and Tavily, and then we'll be good to go. I added my API keys. I added Scrape Creators as well. Forgot to mention that a second ago. And now that we have everything in here, we are ready to go. We can ask Claude to create an ad about any product we want. Please create a series of ads for creatine gummies, trycreate.co. And we'll see what it comes up with. All right, and it's just wrapping up here. So it looks like it's saved all of our assets to today's date plus the generation ID. And we'll take a look at the campaign brief first, just to run through everything that it did. So you can see that it's pulled together a pretty accurate ICP, women 22 to 38 who do something active and they've heard creatine is good, but they don't want to deal with powder. We see the top benefits, the key objections, competitor analysis, all of our creative briefs, the funnel stage recommendations, an A/B testing strategy, as well as platform-specific ad copy. Now, if we want to take a look at these ads, here's a monochromatic world of a woman holding the gummies. This one looks pretty decent, and we'll take a look at these others. So overall, these are pretty decent results. And just to show you guys that this isn't a one and done, we can continue generating these, I'm going to ask Claude to create a few more, even more creative examples. These aren't creative enough. Please improve them with more creativity. And we'll take a look at those results. All right, and it's finished generating these. Still going through the review process and creating the creative brief for them, but I'd rather take a look at them right now. This one's super creative, super interesting. The gummies on the toothpick. I'm actually a big fan of this one. This is the Gummy Galaxy. This one's pretty good. I'd say the text looks a little weird with the blur on it, but you could obviously just ask Claude to remove that. Here's one from inside the bag. Super interesting, creative, and this would probably perform well. And then finally, we have the heist. It says worth protecting. Now this one's a little interesting, maybe a little corny, but still an interesting creative concept, and just shows that you can use this tool for creative brainstorming to come up with unique and novel concepts that you might not have thought of originally. So that is going to be it for today's video. Just a reminder, if you want this exact skill, you can head to AI Innovators and copy it there. If you got any value out of this video at all, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video. It really helps me a lot, and I'll see you in the next one.